am super excited to introduce my guest. You may know her from her work in American Horror Story 6, directed by Angela Bassett, Flaked 2 opposite Will Arnett and David Sullivan. She's had roles opposite David Schwimmer, Amy Schumer, Anthony Anderson, and many, many more. I want to welcome the talented Kerstin Schulze to the podcast. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Billy. I appreciate being here.
Well, thanks for coming. So I created this podcast to inspire young artists to follow their dreams, right? If a kid like me can come out to Hollywood at 18 with $200 in his pocket, a one-way ticket, not knowing his soul out here and making the dream a reality, then why can't the listener out there, right?
Absolutely.
If someone like you can come from Germany with a dream and become a working actor, then it's possible. So what I'd love to go back to the beginning, like when did you know that you wanted to be in this business as an actor?
I was 14, 15. I was doing theater in Germany, and I did a lot of improv, and I fell in love with it. It was very easy for me, and I love to make people laugh. So the comedic side of it was really my passion. And I always would sit after or before kayak training, because I was an athlete, so I did a lot of training. And while we had to wait for our coaches to be ready, my sister and we would sit and watch people and create sketches by just watching them.
That's awesome. So, you know, the listeners out there that are listening to the podcast, they have no idea how this amazing physique that you have. I mean, you've been training for a long time now, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was a junior Olympic athlete. I was a heptathlon athlete. I did 200, 400 sprints on track, and then I did far jump, high jump, shot put, and I was a silver medalist at the Junior Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember
my go-to.
I remember the first time I saw you. We didn't know each other. You know, I had just moved to Manhattan Beach, and I was living, you know, in North Manhattan Beach, and there was a little gym over there and past Rosecrans. I forget the name of the gym, but you know, I went in there and I got a membership there, and I remember coming into the gym, and you walked into the gym, and I was like, oh my God, who is this amazing woman? I mean, you have this an impressive physique. I mean, once you see you know, it's like, wow. How has that helped you or hindered you in this acting business?
Getting in it actually helped me because I stood out from most women, because they want, usually when I go in, they want somebody that's feminine looking and athletic and tall. And those combinations don't come very often. So it was my niche, and it actually helped me a lot to get jobs.
That's awesome. You know, I tell actors all the time, you know, it's those special skills that help you, especially if you're just starting out, get into the door. Because, you know, if you're a soccer player and I'm looking for somebody to cast in my commercial that I need a soccer player, that if you have that skill, it's going to get you in.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
So you want to develop those special skills. I mean, I know for me, my special skills helped me book many roles. You know, I'm a martial artist. I got to fight Chuck Norris. You know, my boxing, I got to, you know, play a boxer. So, you know, it's really developing those skills that will help you, you know, really get your foot in the door, and then you can show them your true talent.
Yeah, but you want to get your foot in first, and that was my way in. And
okay, so now you're 14. You got this improv, you're doing the improv, but how do you like get the career? How do you make the dream a reality? What were your steps?
Well, I went to the States after that, when I was in my 20s. And my mother always wanted me to have a business degree and said, oh, actors don't make any money, you know, and it's a starving job. And I was like, well, that's really what I want to still do. But I went and got my business degree, and then after that, my passion for it never stopped. And the way I got into it, I signed with an agency. I was hanging out with people that are in the industry, that are actors. I surrounded myself with people that are doing what I want to do, and ask them, who are you signed with? And I went with somebody that is an athlete, because I figured an agency that already represents an athlete will sign me easier than somebody that is not familiar with somebody like me and has to figure me out first, right? So I went with Bobby Ball, and they signed me right away. And I went on commercials, got billboards. Booked my first national commercial. It was cars.com, and then it was lasvegas.com, had a billboard. And from there, it just continued. But an agent is really, really important to get in. And you have to, the best way for me was to surround yourself with, okay, who am I? Who would sign me, and where do I want to go, with that.
I love that. It's really important to surround yourself with people that are actually doing it, that are, at that level that you want to achieve, so you can learn from them, mentor from them. I think that's why it's really important for actors to be in a class and be in a group scenario where everybody's on the same page. You're surrounding yourself with people that are already doing it. And then you talk and you network and you go, hey, who's your agent? Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe you can put a referral in, or maybe you can, send them my demo reel, or, it's really kind of who you know. And then if you have the talent, it will get you in the door.
Yeah. I mean, just studying with you, I've learned so much of how to be excited, because excitement and nervous is the same thing, right? You taught me that. And to just walk into the door and own it and be in the character when you walk in and out. So definitely stay in it. I've heard this so many times from so many other actors as well that are very successful. They say, stay in it. You got to be in your craft all the time. Don't take a month off or 2 months and not work your craft, because it's just like working out to me. If you don't do it every day, your body's going to go to crap, right? And if you do this with your craft, you're going to get rusty, and you want to stay sharp. And to stay sharp, you got to do it every week, every day. I mean, I do something every day.
Love that. Yeah. I mean, actors should be really, if they're not in class, they should be picking up a monologue and working on it and practicing their self-tapes, because, the business has changed drastically because of the pandemic. And, actors are going to work from self-tapes. So why not train yourself daily doing self-tapes? Put yourself on tape, do that monologue. Yeah, it's really important. I mean, I know actors that, they only act when they get an audition. And that's, sometimes those auditions are that don't come for a month. So what are you going to do? Not work on your craft for a month? It's like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's like going to the gym.
Yeah. And for me, my experience has been, whenever I was in it and I got an audition, I usually would book it. I'm not saying that everybody's case, but for me, that's because I was so in it. It was just easy, then, and like you said, not doing something for a month or two. It just makes you sharp, study your craft.
So, you talked about, nervous and excitement. How did you truly get past that? I mean, do you get nervous when you go into an audition?
Oh, of course, especially in the beginning, you have all these self-doubts in your head. Am I too tall? Is my speech properly? Is my English good enough? I came from another country, so I always thought I have to lose my accent. Come to find out now that I'm with a #1 voiceover agency that said, we love your accent, keep the accent, which is ironic, but definitely, I mean, when you have A-list people walking into the room with you that you're auditioning for, and you're a newbie, your heart just races, and you just have to be able to center yourself and calm yourself down, and it takes practice.
How do you do it?
Well, you taught me a lot about how to center myself. It's breathing, it's cleansing myself, it's centering my feet on the ground. And also, when I walk into a room, I really don't socialize a lot with people. I stay in my role, I stay in my character, I stay focused of where I want to go and who I am, and stay true to what I want to present.
Love that. You know, that's, I love, you know what I love about you is, and there are a handful of actors that really listen to when I teach the art of the audition, what to do in that room, how to make big choices, how to go in there and bring that character in the door, and you know how to breathe and how to ground yourself and all that stuff that comes along with auditioning. And when you apply it, it works. I mean, I know it works because I've booked the roles myself. I get emails, texts every day from actors going, "Hey, I got that part. I got that thing. I got that thing." You know, I mean, that's why when there's a big audition in town, you know, a pilot audition, a big feature film, I have agents calling me up going, "Hey, can you squeeze my client in? She's got a big pilot audition. She's got you know, a feature film audition," because they know when I work with them, they go and they book the part. I mean, how many times I coached you on quite a few auditions and you went in and you landed the role.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
So,
we actually did the clown together. Remember when I
yeah.
actually wasn't the clown. We auditioned for another role for it, and I went in, and because you told me take risks, don't be the normal, and just do something out of the norm, and I did. I spit on the floor, kissed my muscles, and the director was like, "Wait, this is different. I'm going to give you a different role that was actually written for a guy." And that role, I got to create this character, and then one episode went to the next, and then they made a special out of me, and from there I created this whole special character. It was
Yeah,
fun.
it's an amazing character. Is that your baseball bat, your clown bat behind you?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
No,
awesome.
that was Hightower.
Hightower, that's awesome. So do you have a morning routine? I mean, I know you work out, but is there a morning routine? You know, I tell actors all the time that this is your instrument. As an actor, you are the instrument. So you truly have to take care of this instrument, and you have to, you know, work out, you have to drink a lot of, you know, you have to meditate, you have to get your instrument, you have to work on your craft. So when the opportunity shows up, you're going to be ready, you know, spiritually, mentally, physically ready to go into that door. Do you have a morning routine?
I do. I actually have severe ADD. Like, it's very hard for me to focus on one thing for a very long time. Sometimes I have 10 TVs going on at one time. And when I wake up in the morning, I wake up and I always, well, the night before I write down three things that I want to do the next day. So my subconscious state of mind is already preparing myself for the next day. And then I wake up, I read, I have my cup of coffee, and then if I have time, I'll go work out. And I usually do all my lines and all my monologues when I work out, because I like to move when I learn words. It helps me because focus-wise for me, it just keeps me sharp. And also, I make a recording of it, and instead of listening to music, I listen to my words. And then I can hear my voice, and I work on how my voice sounds, where my inflection is, and all of that. But working out is very important to me. Eating healthy is very important to me. Getting enough sleep. You know, I go to bed usually around 9 o'clock. I wake up at 5 a.m. And then, you know, I help other people to have a healthier lifestyle as well, and inspire them. And yeah, with that, I think it's really important to take care of you. You know, your outside is just as important as your inside.
Yeah, I love that. So, you know, when working on dialogue, I tell my actors all the time, please give yourself an activity, do something, you know, work out, go, you know, fold your clothes, do the laundry. You know, a lot of actors, they sit there and they just read the words over and over again the same exact way. And what happens is that just becomes stale. And then what happens if you've never given yourself an action, what's going to happen is you're going to show up to the set and the director's going to say, okay, I want you to walk over here. I want you to, you know, make a cup of coffee. And then I want you to come over here and sit down on the couch. And if you never practice your lines, walking and talking, you're going to forget your lines.
Yeah,
But if you
absolutely.
practice them every which way possible, you know, giving yourself an activity, trying them opposite. Let's say you think the character should be screaming. Well, wonderful. Follow your instincts, play it like that, and then flip it. Go the other way with it. You know, whisper it just to see where it takes you.
Yeah.
So,
My kids are always my guinea pigs. So we would drive in the car, and all of a sudden I just pull out a character and I just make it so believable that they don't know if am I the person now? Is something happen or whatever? And I love to see their reaction, because then I know, oh, it was real.
Yeah. Can we go back to the ADD real quick? So, you know,
Yeah.
how do you, if somebody, a listener out there is dealing with it, I mean, what would your advice be to that person?
Give yourself 15%. Take 15%. Don't give 100. Don't worry about, oh my God, I have to do a whole hour right now. Just start. Start with, write it down. I'm really good with scheduling myself. It keeps me focused, and I have to show up no matter what. If I don't do it, I will do 10 other things and not do what I'm supposed to do. So a calendar for, I think, ADD is really, really important. And be gentle with yourself. I've learned that I can be very harsh with myself when I go through when I wouldn't give 100% in my eyes. So now I've learned, okay, I'm just going to do 15 minutes of my monologue. Then I'm going to do something else, but I'm going to come back to it, or get ready for a role and get my clothes ready, or whatever it is that I need to do. You know, all these things that come up besides being a mom. You know, there's a lot of moments that I have to refocus. And the best way for me is really just scheduling myself and then making myself accountable. You got to show up.
Love that. So being a mom, right?
Yeah.
Being a busy woman, you know, how do you deal with auditions? I mean, you know, I know back in the day, we'd have to drive back to Hollywood, and it's an hour trip, and then you got to find parking, and then, you know, it's a 3-hour tour, you know, to walk into a room for an audition. You know, now it's changed. You know, there is a lot of self-tapes. How do you feel about self-tapes compared to, you know, back in the day, walking in the door?
I personally love walking into the door, because I love to meet the casting directors, and I am all about energy, and I feel the energy from the casting director, and I get to play with them. I love that. Where with self-tape, you have to find yourself somebody that is good at reading with you. Because if you don't have that, it's really hard to not self-doubt yourself of where you're going and what you should do. I'm an overthinker when it comes to that. I'm like, am I looking this way? Am I saying it the right way? Is this coming across this way, or whatever? So I found some people for self-tapes that I can read with that are booking in the industry, and that are doing well. So really important, I think, it's to have that. What I love about self-tapes is you can do it over and over again. You can do it different ways. You can pick your favorite one. When you walk into a room and you do it with the casting director, you have 1 or 2 shots, maybe 2 shots. You know, if I've been lucky enough where they keep me in a room because they like the way I play, but that doesn't, you know, happen all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I tell my actors, you better give them everything on the first take, because you may not get a second. You know, you got to play full out, 150% the first time. Because you don't want to be driving home going, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I didn't. Why didn't I go, you know, all the way?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I mean, even on a film, I mean, let's say you got the part and we're shooting it, and we're, you know, we're losing the light, or we're losing the location, and we have one shot at this, that's going to be in the movie for the rest of you forever. So you better make sure you give them everything you have when you get in front of that camera.
Yeah. I mean, when I did Hightower, I had 2 cameras. It was live, 4 hours shooting. And you have 2 cameras on you at all given time, and it's all improv. They tell you the guidelines where you're going, but you better be in that character all the way out for 4 hours straight.
Yeah, you got some serious improv skills. You know, we had class on Monday night, and that was awesome. You know, we've been shooting short films in class. You know, we create a short film in 3 hours. We sit down.
Yeah.
And we brainstorm, and we figure out what the story is, and then we figure out what the characters are, and it was fun. It was like figuring out wardrobe, and and then figuring out where we're going to shoot it. And we built some sets, and we shot it. I mean, we shot a lot of stuff in 3 hours.
Yeah,
Um,
I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
yeah.
I love all the creative side of it.
Yeah, but the fun part is there's so many talented actors in the class that the improv is so amazing that we don't have time to sit there and write a screenplay, but you guys know the gist of it, and you guys are improving, and it's like it's amazing. I can't wait to see the edited version of the short film.
Yeah, me too, because the first one was amazing already. So
Yeah,
yeah.
the one we made the other day was awesome. If you could go and give yourself, right, maybe the little you, right, some life advice. If you could go back and talk to the little you, what would that advice be?
You are enough.
Mm.
You are enough. You are more powerful than you think. Don't make yourself so small. Yeah. And dreams do come true. Stick to them, believe in them, go after them, don't have no fear, because fear is just false evidence appearing real. So just go for it. And I wish I would have lived my passion sooner and not had the fear of fitting in, doing the right thing and all of that. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of your own way. Get, that little voice in your head that's telling you to fear, that little voice that's saying you're not good enough, that little voice, that's a bunch of noise. That's truly just noise. You were created a masterpiece. The listener out there was created a masterpiece.
Absolutely.
There's a beautiful light within you, this energy, your star power. You need to let that shine bright and know that you're worthy of it, and you deserve it, and you're valuable. And you need to just step up into who you really are, a queen, a king, a masterpiece. And that's where you want to come from, shining your light. This talent is a God-given talent. It was given to you, and you just got to go in and know, have faith that this was given to me. Not everybody gets it. Painters paint, musicians can play an instrument, but you have this gift within you, and it's your obligation to go shine that light, because it was given to you, and it wasn't given to you if you cannot make the dream a reality. I mean,
I agree.
I believe that, you just have to believe it. And then you have to go after it like you friggin' mean it, with 150%, with a vengeance. Like, I'm going to go get this, and vision it, and take some time to really, truly see it. Every year with my actors, I create vision boards, in January, like really create a vision board, cut out images, see yourself. If you want to work with whoever it is, your favorite actors, is find a picture of them on set and cut out the other actor and put your head there and have it on your mirror and see it on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm putting it out of the universe. I will film with Will Ferrell.
Well, there you go.
And I'm gonna be at the Oscars, and I'm gonna be walking the red carpet, and I'm envisioning it. I'm envisioning it already. I'm already there.
Yeah. Write the speech. Yeah. I'm envisioning it too. I mean, I have it. I have them. What I do, I'm writing a film right now, and I have the Oscars sitting right next to the, my wall with all my images for the film and all the post-it notes and everything. But I have an Oscar sitting right there. I also have an Oscar on my sink. I don't know if you notice it. If you turn on my faucet, there's an Oscar. So if you go to turn the water on, you have to hold the Oscar. Well, next time you come into the studio, look at the sink. It's got an Oscar on it. You can believe it. It's crazy, because a lot of people think that this is some kind of green screen, because there's a lot of fakers.
That's a real deal right there.
You've sat in the seats, so
every week I sit there and do this. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that have the green screen, and but this is a real school. But the crazy part is I just found the vision board for this studio that I created years ago. I mean, my studio has been here for 8 years now, right? November 2nd is my 8-year anniversary. But I found a vision board that I created 10 years, 15 years before that, I had a vision of a beautiful black box theater. And I cut out images, theater seats and the producer's lounge at the movie posters and the makeup mirror, the Hollywood style makeup mirror and the black curtains, the whole thing, because I've been in a lot of shitty black boxes, in Hollywood where there's like rats and, it's like, they're just dumps. And I was like, why are they always crappy? Why can't there be a nice one? So I truly cut out images and I created a vision board and now I live in it. The vision has become a reality. So I think there's truly a lot of power to that. It's taking some time.
Absolutely. I always knew I was going to be on stage talking to thousands of people. I always knew I was going to be in front of the camera. I always knew it, believed it, and envisioned it. And I think when you live your passion, it will come true no matter what, because it's just like breathing to me. It's just what I want to do. There's no age, people always think, oh, I'm too old for it. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all. The lady who wrote the murder series, she was 59 when she wrote it. And it just, Murder, She Wrote, that's the show, and it just, I don't believe in an age limit at all.
Yeah. I worked on that show with Angela Lansbury. It was amazing. Yeah. Yeah, you have to have a vision. And then, having the vision is one thing, but it's taking massive action. Like if you want something, you have to go after it, when I knew I wanted to be an actor and I had this vision, but then I had to jump on a plane, travel 3,000 miles away. I did not have a plane ticket back. So they say, you want to take the island, burn the boat. There's no boat back. Failure was not an option.
I had a one-way ticket coming here too.
Yeah. So it's like, there's no backup plan.
Yeah.
I personally don't believe in plan B or backup plans. I say that listen, having a good education is very important. You want to have that, but you want to have your blinders on. This is what I'm going to make this dream a reality. I've seen a lot of people that have that plan B and that plan B becomes plan A. Right? Because this roller coaster of a business, sometimes it's feast, sometimes it's famine, sometimes you have 3 auditions in a day, sometimes you don't get 3 auditions in a month, but there are going to be times when you hit that little roller coaster, you're on the down and you haven't had any auditions, you start second guessing yourself and you start getting into your head and you're getting fearful and you start creating a story and am I too old? Am I this? And it's just noise again. But if you have a true vision of this is where I'm going to go and I'm going to make this dream a reality and nothing's going to stop me. If there's a door, I'm going to kick the freaking door down. I'm going to do whatever it is.
You don't get auditions right now. You just create stuff yourself.
Exactly.
Right? People around you that are creatives and you just create your own short films or projects and then just put it out there yourself. Why wait for somebody to drop it into your lap? Why not go get it yourself?
Yeah, that's what we're doing in class. We're creating our own projects. Everybody has a cell phone in their pocket, and that, that's a little movie making machine. You can write a screenplay on it. You can shoot, you can edit, you can do everything on it. So why not? Why wait? When I came out to Hollywood, there was no such thing. There was no cell phones. There was no nothing. So you literally, the only way you got footage of yourself is you had to actually book the part. And then you had to get some guy, you pay some guy named Jan Notarno to pull it off the air on a 3/4 inch tape, and then they had to transfer it to a 1/2 inch tape. It was like a process to get a piece of footage of you acting. But now you can make it today. You just find a monologue. What's your castability? Oh, I see myself playing a gangster. Okay, wonderful. Find a monologue of you playing a gangster. Work on it. Find the wardrobe, the whole thing, become a little movie producer, wardrobe, hair, makeup, everything, fill the frame, right? And then film yourself doing that. So you have that little piece of footage of you playing gangster or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever your castability is.
And use your social media for your work. Don't just use your social media for acceptance. Use it for your work, I have used social media for my work, and I have literally production companies reach out to me and say, hey, we would love for you to audition for this big role. And I would have never had that if I didn't put myself out there. And I created scenes myself, put them out there. And they said, hey, we like what she looks like, what she does. And even if you don't book it, at least they're looking at you and they want to keep you in mind for something else.
Absolutely. And be careful what you post on social media, because people look. If I've been in a situation where, we're looking at, actors, and we're looking at their social media. And if you're posting stuff that's, this is my opinion is, keep your politics, keep your religion, keep, your partying, woohoo, look at me, I'm drinking shots of tequila. Nobody needs to see that. If I want to hire you and I see that, and, I may not hire you because of that. So,
Yeah. Unless
what
you're
is
at a film festival, some superstars.
yeah, what's your brand? What are you putting out there? I mean, you're a brand, and you got to know what your brand is and what you're putting out there. Truly. I mean, it's really important, because, there are casting directors that, that's the first thing, back in the day, they used to look at, like, oh, what's the demo reel, or, a lookbook for a model. Now the lookbook is now your Instagram account, so actors should put actor in their title, and they should put their castability pieces of footage, a minute of you playing that doctor or that gangster or whatever. So now if I come across you and I go, oh my gosh, look at this. You can play a doctor, a lawyer, a gangster, if you're comedic, if you play an instrument, like, if you have an amazing physique, show it off, because that's castability.
Yeah. Yeah, I get hired for my physicality a lot, because it's the first thing that they see. But I also make it a point that I do character stuff so people don't just look at one way, because I want to be taken serious as an actor. And if I only do that, then what is my message here? What are they looking at? So just like you said, know what you want to be seen as and what you want to be booked as.
Yeah, you got to show them. You got to serve it up and go, this is me. You can't leave anything to their imagination, because they don't have an imagination. They're not going to see you, playing that role unless you show them, I can play this role. They're going to try to put you in a little box and say, you can only play this part.
Yeah.
Well, how do they know you can play the other role? Is you show them. This is, look, here you go.
Yes.
I mean, I remember I did an episode of NYPD Blue. I played a guest star on the show, playing a mafia boss, a gangster who was, gay, who killed his own brother, who killed a bunch of other people, whatever. And this was the role, right? And then I found out there was another role, another guest starring episode, playing a completely, different character, a Hispanic guy who got out of Rikers Island, whatever. And they wouldn't let me in, because they said, oh no, Billy only plays they try to put me in that little box. And I said, no. And this is before self-tapes. I filmed myself. I had a goatee and the whole thing, and I sent it over to casting, and they let me into the room based on that tape. And I went in that room and I got that part, because I showed them, look, I can do that.
Yeah.
So you can do that right now.
My friend Tora, I call her, she calls herself my friend Tora too, is Nicole Ari Parker. And she said to me always, she said, go for all the roles. Don't go for the roles that they think that you'll be good at. Just go for the ones too that they would never think that you would go for.
Absolutely. Change their mind. I mean, I'd say I preach it all the time. You have to change their mind. They think they know what they want until they see you. And then you walk in the door and you made some big choices and you're having fun and you're playing, and they're like, wait a second, I didn't even, oh my gosh. And then, they take the credit, like they thought of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, oh my gosh, this is great. What's next? I mean, I know you got a TV pilot going on. You got some play you're doing. What's next for you?
I booked a lead role in a theater play that they're probably going to bring it to San Francisco right now.
Awesome.
San Francisco, Chicago. So that's big. And then I also booked a TV show that is in the production right now, where I have to play a trainer. But it's funny. It's a comedy kind of thing. And there's a couple other things that I'm looking at right now that I can't talk about yet. I'm talking to a production company in England that wants to put me in a movie, and I'm also talking to a production company in Canada that wants to consider me for some movies.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have no doubt, no doubt. It's just an audition away from you blowing up, like boom, like people going, whoa, where did she come from? And they're going to say it's like an overnight success. I mean, that's the way it happens.
No, I've been doing this, talking to these people for a while and communicating. And when they tell me that they're going to write a role in for me, then I feel, okay, I did something right here.
Absolutely. I mean, your job as an actor is not to get the part, is to go in there and make some fans, because if it's not this role, something down the line, they're going to go, hey, remember that girl that came in and wow, she made some big choices and we liked her and we want to, they're going to remember you. You get a few casting directors in this business that are a fan of your work, you're going to work because they're going to keep bringing you back in. And then it's just a numbers game, getting in that right thing. I had one, God rest her soul, her name was Vicky Rosenberg. She was a great casting director, but she took a shot on me and she brought me in for, Who's the Boss? And, I landed that and, it was a guest star that turned into a recurring character for 3 years. And then, every time there was another thing like Married with Children, she brought me in on that and I got that. Or, the pilot, I mean, she was a fan. So she was always bringing me in the room. Yeah. And I worked a lot from that one casting. Right now, imagine if you have 2 or 3 that love you. I had Ross Lacey for commercials that loved me, that brought me in. I did like a dozen commercials, just out of that one casting office because they were a fan. So, that's your job. If you're an actor out there, is really truly go make some fans,
Yeah, that's what I did with my casting director for voiceovers. I spoke to her and then I went and trained with her and she loved me so much in my drive. She said, there's not a lot of people that want it that bad. And if people want to support people that really want it and have a passion for it. And because of that, I got to sign with Eileen Thornton, and she's been in the business for over 50 years in voiceovers,
Love it.
And I never thought that my voice was it, because I had this hang up about my voice and that I had a little lisp, and then I thought I didn't sound right. And, the voice is in your head until people say, no, you're fine.
Yeah, that's what makes you unique. I mean, that's your castability. Listen, when I came out to LA, people would say, oh, you got to get rid of that New York accent. I was like, fuck you. I was like, that's what makes me me. I'm a kid from Brooklyn. And I booked all those roles, every one of those, troublemaker, street kid, whatever. And that's what got me in the door. And then I proved that I can play roles that don't have that accent, because I would just put a different accent on. I'd play the Spanish guy, whatever. So, the door, the accent, the New York thing, that's what I was selling. I knew what I was selling from the get-go, coming out here. I was selling this street kid from New York.
Yeah.
And I booked all those roles. I mean, the first audition I had was, they were looking for Billy. The character's name was Billy. He was a leader of a gang who was bullying these kids. And I was literally off the plane, went in there and got a guest starring role on a TV series called The Fall Guy, and the rest is history. Got my SAG card and my career, started rolling. So, it's know who you are, be you, because there's only one you. I mean, you have a twin too, right? But there's only one you.
Only one me.
Yeah.
She does not like to act.
Yeah, but I mean, it's when I saw images of you two together. I mean, that's some serious, wow, wow factor.
It's great to walk in the room with her. Yeah.
Yeah, it's be you, own you. Stand in your power. Come, everything that's ever happened to you in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that stuff. That's your gold as an actor. Bring that, and that's enough. You don't have to do anything else. Just bring you. Do the work, create the character, find the voice of the character, the walk of the character, all that, create the character, but then give your soul, your stuff. And that they will feel that if you do that, because you're not acting, you're just being truthful. Yeah. No acting allowed.
Yeah, no acting around. I walked into the room when I booked Flaked, and the guy said, I walked in the scene, I had to kiss somebody. This was with Arnett and David Sullivan. And I walked in, I said, who am I kissing? He said, oh, no, we're not. We're just pretending. I said, that's not acting. And I booked the role. It
I
was
love it.
bold, but it was the truth, you know. So
Yeah,
they
listen.
were going to be honest.
Yeah, listen, it's those bold choices, you know, and I say it in class all the time, right? I could take every role I've ever landed, every movie poster that's hanging on the wall here. I know exactly what I did in that audition, what that big, bold choice was. Was it risky? Was it dangerous? Was it vulnerable? Was it whatever? Yes, that's what made me stand out from everybody else. Is
Yeah,
that big, it's you spitting on the floor and
yeah,
flexing your muscles, is you
yeah.
kissing the, it's making that choice that people might not do. Like, oh my God, why would they do, it's dangerous. It could backfire and they go, what the hell? Did she just spit on a fly? I mean,
At least you took a chance.
yeah, you took a shot and
Yeah,
they will remember you.
yes, they will. You
Yeah.
know, when I remember you got me ready for Teachers, the TV show Teachers.
Uh-huh.
And I had to play a coach, a dodgeball coach. And I literally brought a dodgeball in there and I took that ball and slammed it against the wall. And the caster was like, okay, we're gonna have to do this again, but I love you. And they were such big fans. They wanted me to get this role so bad that
Yeah.
the network ended up with a bigger name, but they wrote a letter to my agency and told them that I need to have my own show, that my comedic timing was off the charge, and it was because I just lived it. I was honest with the role and I wasn't scared to take that risk.
Yeah, I remember coaching you on that. That was hysterical. Put your whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And again,
awesome.
it's a role that where I play somebody, I know for myself, I play women that are very powerful or
Mhm.
intimidating, or very sexy. So that I have no problem with that. Bring me in and then I can show you the other range too.
Love it. Kerstin, I can't thank you enough for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. I really appreciate
Yeah,
you.
it was awesome. And I will see you in class on Monday.
Yes, sir, you will.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Bye.